Well, this is Mark Yates, then Swindon at home in the FA Cup. Mark, if we can start with the two bits of news on the loan front. Eusebio's gone back to Wolves. Was that a mutual decision?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We spoke to Wolves earlier in the week and they were quite happy for him to play, but I spoke to the lad and he was getting a little bit frustrated that he hadn't started of late, and it was just getting him in our system. Like I said, I've always said he's got undoubted ability. I was desperate for it to happen for him, but it just, with where we are right now, it just wasn't the perfect fit, and just thank him for his efforts and just the fact that he delighted us with a few bits of magic in training and in games, and just a pity we couldn't get a little bit more out of him. But listen, that's just where we are, and so he's a very, very good player.
On the plus side, though, John Monquis has been cleared to play by Millwall. How big a boost is that? Yeah,
it's very good for us. Yeah, we need all the resources we can, and to have John available, makes selection harder. But we need good players in our squad, and John fits into that.
And was that a bit of a surprise? Because speaking to him last week, he thought he'd probably only have the 3 league games here to be competing for a place.
I spoke to Millwall earlier in the week, and they hadn't got a problem with that. So we're delighted.
What's the week been like in training? Because obviously you wanted honesty out of the players.
Well, we've had that. We've had that. We've watched a few clips from the game, because you have to see where you went wrong, and that the players understood that Saturday first half wasn't what we were about, and that's the reason, no matter how well we played second half, that we didn't get anything from the game. And it has been a good, hard, honest week. They've, like it always is, but you want it even more so after a defeat like that. And I've got the response I wanted in training, isn't it? It's difficult with being a cup week because you want the mood to be good, and the mood is good, and you want the place to be rocking. But it's sometimes a couple of days a little bit quieter can be really good. So they've been focused, they've trained well, and we're just trying to carry that on through to Saturday now.
How much is the pressure off you as underdogs in this tie?
I don't suppose there's too many that really give us a chance. They're, like I said, they're a very, very good side. Some real quality individuals, a way of playing that it's great to see. But we put ourselves under pressure that if we can do our jobs properly, we can our game plan where we know what we're doing and we stick to it and we execute it really well, then we have a chance. It's a cup tie where we play a team from the league above, and that makes it tough because they're a decent team in the league above, and some good players, a good manager, but again it's a cup tie, and the underdogs always have a chance, and that's what we'll be aiming to do, to make sure that we do everything we can to give ourselves that chance come 90 minutes.
And how big a factor could home advantage be?
We have to make it. This is our big chance, if you like. Everyone says the underdog at home, and that has to be the case. We don't fear anybody. We try and show strengths in a few weaknesses of a few teams, and we've done that early this week. But the focus is on us now to try and make sure that all the good players they have and all the way they play, we make sure that we impose ourselves on the game and have a positive outcome come 5 o'clock on Saturday.
And having played a side in League One in the Johnson's Paints Trophy in Bristol City who are flying at that level, can that actually be a help for going into this?
Yeah, we're trying to draw off that. We've shown little bits and pieces about what was good against Bristol City. They play the same system, probably pass it even more. So we've got to be aware of that. They've got 2 midfield players that are, lots of midfield players, but 2 in particular who are a little bit cut above the rest. Mark's got them, they play out from the back, they try and create overloads and 2v1 situations all over the park. They're all comfortable with the ball. There's things we're going to have to deal with, and how we deal with it, we've been working on all week. But we have to do what we're good at. There's no point just defending for 90 minutes and sitting on the edge of your box we've got to try and impose ourselves on the game, and that's the balancing act that we're trying to extract from the players for Saturday.
And you mentioned Mark Cooper. There's someone you know well.
Yeah, I've known Mark for many years. We've played with each other for Birmingham's old boys. We've been mates for years, non-league teams and stuff. Come up against him loads of times at various clubs that he's been at. I'm really pleased for him that he had a tough time at Peterborough a few years ago, but he bounced back and shown what he can do here, and you'll be very impressed. Hopefully not too impressed, but you'll be very impressed with the way he set his side up, the way he plays, and also I'm delighted that he's doing well.
I'm sure Rafa would love to play in this game,
yeah,
and I'm sure
they all should.
Yeah,
they all should.
I'm sure sentiment wouldn't sort of come into it for you, but can a player be inspired, and could that sort of affect your decision making?
You pick people you think can make a positive impact in the game, and if Rafa gets that nod, then I have no doubt wherever we play him that he can influence the game. He's a good player, makes us play. Did really well when he came on Saturday. I say if he gets that chance and that inspiration, he gets a little bit more inspiration from the fact that he's playing against his former club. Then that'll be great for us because he's a good footballer.
Injuries, is it
still
just
still the
Matty and
same.
Asa?
Yeah, pretty much so. We're pretty all clear. Bar Matty will be a couple of weeks, I would have thought, and Asa probably just a couple of weeks longer than that.
Thank you. Good luck.
Cheers, Paul.
You mentioned the game plan. Have you been almost looking a bit more this week about how to stop them rather than what you can do to get on the front foot?
Like I said earlier, it's that balancing act where if you just want to go and defend on the edge of your box for 90 minutes, you have to just work. You just work on them and you try and stifle them or whatever. But if you do that, you'll concede anyway. If you just worry about them, you've got to try and, I say, get your message across. There's a fine balance between they knowing the jobs without the ball, but also being free, being clear about what we're doing when we have the ball. So, two similar systems. They probably play a little bit more football than we do, and probably take one or two more risks than we do from the back. They've been playing it a year longer than us, if you like, this system. But you've got to be mindful of the fact that they've got a real good squad, a real good calibre of players. So we just have to do what we need to do to try and get a result. It's a cup tie. It doesn't matter about performances and stuff like that in terms of the result. It's all about the result. It's all about trying to progress through to the next round. Every club dreams of getting through to the third round at least, in our situation. We've been fortunate enough to have a couple of those over the last few years, but we've also seen the other side of it last year. So I'd certainly rather be playing Swindon Supermarine than Swindon, but we do here. You get what you get, and we've got a really tough one. Probably couldn't be many tougher in the draw, but we always back ourselves and always go out there fighting.
You obviously played in some great FA Cup games at Wadden Road. I think back to the Burnley game, the Oldham game that year. How important will the atmosphere be to try and to inspire the players to go that bit?
Yeah,
that bit
hopefully.
further?
I remember when Swindon came down here last time when I think Paolo was in charge. I think we beat them 1-0 with Stevie Elliott header from a set piece. They hadn't really taken off. Yeah, I think it was in one of the first couple of games of the season, but it was a great atmosphere. We played really well, and they obviously went on to win the league that year. But we lost. We won 1-0 at home and lost 1-0 away when we should have won that game as well when Darryl missed the penalty. They brought a great following. They were a noisy bunch. Hopefully the supporters match that, and we try and compete with them on the pitch as players and as staff, and hopefully the supporters try and compete with them in the terraces and make as much noise as and a boisterous away following.
Obviously, you say we're going back. It's I think 3 weeks till the loan window closes. With John Marcus also going back at the end of the month. Is that something you're going to
it's
have to look at?
To address. Yeah, definitely, but not this week. I've made a couple of tentative inquiries about a couple of players for next week. Not many of these players will be available for this weekend anyway. So it was just in case of focusing on what we're trying to do this week, but also just plan ahead for the coming couple of weeks.
Is money, prize money from the FA Cup, going to play a massive role in what you're able to do?
I'll tell you Saturday.
Yeah,
of course we want him. We want that to be the case. We want the club to be able to function better and more resources. Of course that helps, but we've got to deal with Swindon, and that'll be a tough job. But that's the plan right now.
Okay. Cheers, Mark.